Welcome to Daily Scripture Reading. I do not own the rights to this music. Numbers chapter 30. This is the Amplified Version. The Law of Vows. Then Moses spoke to the leaders of the tribes of the Israelites, saying, This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. If a man makes a vow to the Lord, or swears an oath to bind himself with a pledge of abstinence, he shall not break, violate, profane his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. Also, if a woman makes a vow to the Lord and binds herself by a pledge of abstinence while living in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow and her pledge by which she has bound herself, and he offers no objection, then all her vows shall stand, and every pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if her father disapproves of her making her vow, on the day that he hears about it, none of her vows or her pledges by which she has bound herself shall stand, and the Lord will forgive her because her father has disapproved of her making the vow. But if she marries while under her vows, or if she has bound herself by a rash statement, and her husband hears of it, and says nothing about it on the day he hears it, then her vow shall stand, and her pledge by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband disapproves of her making her vow or pledge on the day that he hears of it, then he shall annul her vow, which she is under, and the rash statement of her lips, by which she bound herself, and the Lord will forgive her. But the vow of a widow or a divorced woman, everything by which she has bound herself, shall stand against her. However, if she vowed in her husband's house or bound herself by a pledge with an oath, and her husband heard it, but said nothing to her, and did not disapprove of her making the vow, then all her vows and every pledge by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband absolutely annuls them on the day he heard them, then whatever proceeds from her lips concerning her vows or concerning her pledge shall not stand. Her husband has annulled them, and the Lord will forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to humble herself, her husband may confirm it, or her husband may annul it. But if her husband says nothing to her concerning the matter from day to day, then he confirms all her vows or all her pledges which are on her. He has confirmed them because he said nothing to her on the day he heard them. But if he indeed nullifies them after he hears of them, then he shall be responsible for and bear her guilt for breaking her promise. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses, between a man and his wife, and between a father and his daughter, while she is a youth in her father's house. The end. God bless you, and thank you for joining me today.